Today I wanted to say thanks to every one of you giving me a wish well called during the time I was resting myself. I believe it was on January 8th. Suddenly I saw so many flashes on my right eye. And the next day I went to a doctor. The doctor said that is the sign of retina. It's not stable. And so I have to rest myself for a few weeks. In the past about 2 weeks, I feel much better. The flashes used to be happening all the time, and it's not countable. But right now it's countable. Sometimes maybe 1, maybe 2, getting less and less. So that's why I try to resume some programs at the temple. So thank you all. And I did my best to read all the writings on the card. Yes. And I'm going to continue to discuss the Diamond Sutra with you this morning. And I believe this is the 11th talks of this sutra. Okay. I wish that after a few more talks, the whole sutra will be completed. Before we start, I would like to remind all friends about the teaching of this sutra. Basically, Buddha taught us in different levels. We have to know the first level. Buddha asked us, we have to understand what is right, what is wrong, in order to elevate ourselves, purify ourselves. But after we practice this Dharma for some time, we are able to find a way to purify ourselves. Then we have to detach from all kinds of attachment in order to achieve the perfect enlightenment. Otherwise, we are not able to achieve that stage as long as we still attach to something there. Of course, negative things we have to abandon. Even wholesome deeds that we always practice, we still have to detach from what we are doing, we are practicing. So this is the highest level of Buddha's teaching. And through this kind of practice, Buddha said, every one of us, we can achieve perfect enlightenment. I remember in ancient time, there was a student who went to a monastery and met a great teacher. He asked this question, Dharma teacher, I wanted to follow you, be a student of you. How can you teach me? The master said, if I discover you cannot walk properly, then I'm going to give you a walking stick so you can walk with this stick. And to learn how to walk properly, after you know how to walk, you walk well, then I'm going to take your walking stick, throw it away. So today, let's remember this story. I wanted to know, do we all be able to walk properly? Okay, ask yourself. I wanted to ask myself. If you say, I'm not the student who is able to walk properly in daily life, That means we still depend on the basic teachings of the Dharma. Simply understand what are 5 precepts, what are 10 good deeds, and what are 6 paramitas, and how can I cultivate my loving kindness. Those are still important. If you say, I'm a student in this level, I have a great compassion and a great loving kindness, I can practice 5 precepts naturally, then Buddha will say, now it's time for you to throw away your walking stick. You practice the Dharma, but you don't attach to any names, any forms. Free yourself from that walking stick. Actually, we are living in this world. The world is not perfect. And sometimes we try to use a lot of names, forms, ideas to describe something we wanted to say, we wanted to understand. But somehow, through all those forms, ideas, words, eventually we discover those are not a perfect way to describe the facts. We try to understand everything around us, but we only understand certain facts alone. It's very little. Yeah. Most of the time, we have confusions. We have a lot of ignorance around us. That's why we make bad decisions. We make a lot of wrongdoings in daily life. So this sutra actually guides us how to understand right and wrong, and also how to detach from all kinds of attachment. Free yourself so you can see both sides, all corners, before you make decision. Okay. Now let's read the sutra together. Today we are going to start from chapter 19. Can you see the numbers? Chapter 19. Janet, would you please read it for us?
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think, Subhuti, if someone were to fill the 3,000 Chiliocosms with precious treasures as an act of generosity, would that person bring great happiness by his virtuous act? Yes, very much, world-honored one. Subhuti, if such happiness were conceived as an entity separate from everything else, the Tathagata would not have said it to be great. But because it is ungraspable, the Tathagata has said that the virtuous act of that person brought about great happiness.
Thank you. I would like to know if everyone understands there's a special term, 3,000 Chiliocosms. Chiliocosms. Do you all understand or no? Okay. This morning when I read this paragraph, I feel I have a responsibility to describe or to explain what is the meaning of this. 3,000 Chiliocosms. Actually, that is the view of universe in ancient India. It's a very unbelievable that a few thousand years ago, Indian people, they don't believe the earth is the only the world, the only universe. Actually, they believe there are so many planets in this universe. And the way they describe this universe, this kind of idea, sometimes they use this term to describe it's so huge, so big. In Chinese, we say 3000大千世界. Okay. They consider one solar system is the basic entity of universe. One solar system. Okay. If we have 1,000 solar system, we call this small universe. So you have to combine 1,000 solar system in order to call this is a small universe. If we can combine 1,000 small universe, we call this a medium universe. Okay. If we can combine 1,000, another 1,000 medium universe, we call this a big universe. So that's why there are 3,000. 3,000 doesn't mean 3,000 solar system. Actually, there are 3,000 number in it. So it should be more. One solar system is the basic entity of the universe. 1,000 solar system, we call this small universe. 1,000 small universe, we call this medium universe. 1,000 medium universe, we call this a big universe. So that's a lot. If someone who donate the many precious jewelries, golds, then he is donating so much to others. So that is a way ancient Indians describe the numbers, the amount of elements by using 3,000 chiliocosmos. If someone who have generously donate those precious treasures as an act of generosity, would that person bring great happiness by his virtuous act? Yes, very much. We'll honor one. Okay, please read the last paragraph carefully. Subhuti, if such happiness were conceived as an entity separate from everything else, the Tathagata is another title for Buddha, coming from suchness. The Tathagata would not have said it to be great, but because it is ungraspable, the Tathagata has said that the virtuous act of the person brought about great happiness. Today, you have a small cup of water. If you put this small cup of water into the ocean, you don't keep the water in this small cup. So even the very small amount of water can be great because it's poured into the ocean and melt with other waters. So small water can be great if you don't limit your practice by thinking yourself. By thinking yourself, actually, we are putting our eggs in a small cup. So in this small cup, if you say, I donate $10,000, it still can be counted, still limited. Okay. But if you just donate $1 without the attachment of yourself, it can be great. Just pour this water into the ocean. You don't separate your practice with others, with other conditions. So this is a teaching of Buddha. Buddha said, when we wanted to donate anything to others, we have to follow 3 important principles. No self, no elements that we can donate, no receivers. But actually when we donate something, there must be someone, who's donating the money. And I have this money for you, you are the receiver. But Buddha said, as long as we attach to those 3 conditions, all kinds of practice is still limited based on the way you are thinking. If we can empty all those elements, free from those attachments, anything we do can be huge, can be great. I have $10 for you today. I gave you $10. Okay. In my mind, I gave you $10. You are a friend of mine. You better to do something for me. In the afternoon, you wash dishes for me. So my donation will be just limited in wash dishes. It will be limited. So what I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to wash 10 dishes for you for $10. Okay. So ideas, your mind can be limited or without limits. And in this sutra, Buddha always asks us, we should put our minds without any limits. Venerable Jizu came to Houston not long ago, last year. He taught us 4 great minds. Sometimes we say 4 unlimited minds. Our compassion, our loving kindness, our sympathetic joy, and equanimity should be unlimited. Because there's no limits, so we can use all those practice everywhere we go. Otherwise, I will love you, I don't love another person. So they were limited. Okay. So this is chapter 19th teaching. Let's go to another chapter. Would you please read it first?
Sure.
Okay, please.
20?
Chapter 20.
Okay. Subhuti, what do you think? Can the Tathagata be perceived by his perfectly formed body? No, world-honored one. What the Tathagata calls a perfectly formed body is not in fact a perfectly formed body. That is why it is called a perfectly formed body. What do you think, Subhuti? Can the Tathagata be perceived by his perfectly formed physiognomy?
Physiognomy. Physiognomy.
No, world-honored one. It is impossible to perceive the Tathagata by any perfectly formed physiognomy. Why? Because the Tathagata calls perfectly formed physiognomy is not in fact perfectly formed physiognomy. That is why it is called perfectly formed physiognomy.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's not easy to pronounce the word.
Sorry.
I checked on the dictionary. Personally, there are sounds you have to pronounce the word. So I touch it. Oh, in English, physiognomy. Perfect image. Perfect image. Physiognomy. Physiognomy. Please, thank you. Physiognomy. After we read this paragraph, probably all of us will understand. In Buddhist temples, when we see statues on altar, it's just for the purpose of reminding disciples, Buddhists, to follow Buddha's teaching. So when we have a statue in the temple, basically we don't ask Buddhists to worship to this statue. Instead of worshiping to the statue, we ask Buddhists to remember Buddha's teaching. When you have a photo of your parents, You remember the parents. Okay. When we see the flag of America, we remember the spirit of America. So it's a symbol. Okay. And in this paragraph, Buddha was alive in those days. Any disciple who's trying to understand the real Buddha by seeing the form, the actual person of Buddha, think that is the Buddha is not right. Okay. Actually, Buddha not depend on any forms at all. So, according to this teaching, anything that we see, anything that we can touch, anything that we can hear, basically it's conditional existence. It's not permanent existence. Nothing permanently exists based on conditions. So when Buddha was 80 years old, and he said, disciples, I'm going to abandon my body. Don't cry. This is not the real body. Okay? As long as you practice the Dharma, you always see the real Buddha. So, Buddha taught us formlessness. Buddha asked us to understand this, the truth of Sanyata. The truth of Sanyata. Sanyata, sometimes we say the empty nature of everything. When we understand the truth, we can see the Buddha directly. Okay. But you don't depend on any signs, any forms. Okay. Because signs or forms are changeable. Okay. It doesn't really shows the truth of the Buddha. But we are using the body, we are using the word to communicate in a certain way in order to educate disciples, elevate us. So this is the paragraph Buddha asks us, don't depend on any body forms, physiognomy, even its perfect form of Buddha. Sometimes some religion will say, I don't have any form, I don't have any statue in my temple. But when they think about their belief, they still think there is a higher supreme being exists there for them to worship. So actually in Buddhism we say, maybe all of us, we can detach from physical forms. We understand that easily. How about the form in your mind? And that is so strong. Yeah. Sometimes we will say, especially in China, I believe in this God, you believe in that God. What are those God's image that you have in your mind? Sometimes people do have formless image. That's very difficult to detach from. I can destroy things, but I cannot detach from those kind of attachment. Okay, be careful. Sometimes we have certain kind of a form inside us. There is the last one, physiognomy. Physiognomy is the form inside you, maybe not outside. Okay. Then let's go to chapter 20 first. Let's take turns. Can you?
Oh, she lost her
Lost her
voice.
voice.
Oh, okay. Who's next? Okay, please.
Saburi, do not say that the Tathagata receives the idea. I will give a teaching. Do not think that way. Why? If anyone says that the Tathagata has something to teach, that person slanders the Buddha because he does not understand what I say. Saburi, giving a Dharma talk, in fact, means that no talk is given. This is truly a Dharma talk. Then, inside life, Subhuti said to the Buddha, World Honor One, in the future, will there be living beings who will feel complete confidence when they hear these words? The Buddha said, Subhuti, those living beings are neither living beings nor living beings. Why is that? Subhuti, what the Tathagata calls non-living beings are truly living beings.
Thank you. Thank you. Basically, in daily life, we always depend on books or internet, computers, or words, facial expressions. Anything that we can hear, we can see. There is the channel we are receiving concepts, understandings. Do you really think we can understand everything, all kinds of facts, all truth, by talking to each other, by writing to each other? According to Buddha's teaching, actually words and all kinds of forms help us in certain way, but it cannot really let us understand the truth. Right now, I want you to think something in my pocket. This is a small thing. It's not very big. It's very tiny. There's a small bottle in my hand. And also, there's a thread related with this bottle. There are some very fine sands in the bottle. So I'm trying to describe something in my pocket, okay, through words. Over here we have many friends. You all listening to me at the same time. You all trying to understand what I'm talking. If I actually check, what would you say? What is it? What kind of idea you have about the gift in my hand? Perhaps many of you will say different kind of subjects. Yeah, maybe some are the same. Maybe all of you are not the same. You are going to say something differently. So there's a small bottle, and there's a thread. It's a very small. They are very fine sand. Okay. So what kind of image you have? According to Buddha's teaching, after we hear all those words, even see certain kind of description based on my facial expression, it's better for you to see the reality yourself in order to recognize the truth by yourself. Perhaps those words might help you elevate your understanding. Without my words, you don't know what's in my pocket. After I say a few sentences, you have certain idea in your mind. Okay, something there is not big. Something related with a bottle. There's a thread. Also, there are some sands. You understand this partially, but it's still not complete. Until I show this, then without language, without any sentences, without any forms, without any writing, you are going to see this as the way it is, suchness. Can you see this? Yeah. Okay? This is the reality. This is the fact. This is the truth. And When we see this element, these facts, do you still need languages? Unless you have to teach, is that right? For you, if you say, I don't have to teach anyone, I just wanted to recognize this, then you see this, then it's, what do you call that? Worthless. You don't have to use any language at all at this moment. Okay. So after I show you this, then if we back to this chapter, there are a few minutes from this chapter. First, every time when Shakyamuni Buddha teaches, he never think I'm teaching. It's important. Whenever Shakyamuni Buddha present a talk, he never thinks I presenting a talk. I'm giving a talk. So this is not the Buddha's way. Buddha will talk naturally. He never think, I want to talk. It's different from me. This morning, I told myself, I'm going to give a talk. And how am I going to talk? Basically, it's not always directly from the way I think. I have to collect other teachings from different books, from different sutras, in order to collect all those concepts for my teaching. So the way we talk, the way we teach is different from Buddha. We wanted to think, how am I going to talk? But Buddha never has to go through this process. Just talk naturally. When you ask questions, Buddha will answer you directly from his understanding. There's no process of accumulating a lot of informations. So Buddha never thinks. He's talking, he's teaching, and prepare to all kinds of words. Secondly, Buddha said, it doesn't matter how much we talk. We can never describe the facts, the truth, by using words. Just like a while ago, I showed you this example. Okay. And also, it doesn't matter how long Buddha talk. It doesn't matter how many sutras have been introduced by Buddha. His goal is to let everyone to understand the truth cannot be described by words. That is the goal. If Buddha taught all disciples always depend on sutras, writing languages, or any kind of information. That is not the goal for Buddha's talk to us. So Buddha taught us the goal is guide us to see the facts by yourself, not depend on any talking. Eventually. Okay. So this is the meaning of this paragraph. And also, there is something maybe I have to say, I have to explain it. The Buddha said, Sabbuddhi, those living beings are neither living beings nor non-living beings. Why is that, Sabbuddhi? What the Tathagata calls non-living beings are truly living beings. All students who are listening to Shakyamuni Buddha at the time on this sutra, basically they are bodhisattvas, great bodhisattvas. When we say great bodhisattvas, means they are highly educated for a very long time. They already understand the Dhamma very well. So they are not like ordinary living beings. They are well educated. They practice the Dharma for a long time. So, in certain way, we say they are not ordinary living beings. Just because they are not still achieving the perfect enlightenment of Buddhahood, so they are still a kind of living beings. Okay, please understand this paragraph in this way. And then let's move to chapter 22nd. Would you please read it?
Subhuti asked the Buddha, World honored one, is the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind that the Buddha attained the unattainable? The Buddha said, that is right, Subhuti, regarding the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind.
Okay. Subhuti asked the Buddha, world honored one, is the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind that the Buddha attained the unattainable. Any thoughts do you have? Basically, we have to understand. If you feel you always wanted to gain something, if you feel you still have to earn more money, that means you are not satisfied with your wealth. Is right? You feel I wanted to earn more money. Even you have $1 billion, you still feel I wanted to earn more. That means you are not satisfied with your wealth. So psychologically, there's a thing in this way. As long as you feel you wanted to gain something, that means you are in need of something. When we are still in the stage that I still wanted to get something, that means we're not perfect. When you reached the perfect stage, at the time, that means you don't need anything. You don't say, I gain anything. I don't have to gain anything at all. It's perfect. It's perfect. So Buddha attained the perfect stage. But in this stage, Buddha never say, I gain anything. I attain anything. So please think in this way. Okay. In daily life, as a human being, we say it's not wrong for us to think, I wanted to gain something, gain some fame, some food, some money, some friendship. Yeah. But if we have this kind of a feeling strongly, always trying to gain something, that means your mind is not in a very stable stage. You always want to move ahead. Try to find something for you. This is a problem. As long as you feel you want to find something new to satisfy yourself, there's a problem. Okay. And also, sometimes, as a human being, when we say we wanted to improve ourselves, the attitude is, I dislike this, I like that. So you abandon something in order to get something new. It can be troubled by having this kind of mind. A very wise man, he can use good stuff, but also he can create garbage into treasures. That is another concept. That means, as a great bodhisattva, we're living in this imperfect world. When good things happening to me, that is good. I have to appreciate, be happy. How about something is unnice, unpleasant, I'm still able to deal with it with my perfect understanding. I don't want to accumulate any negative feelings from this. So that is the attitude for great bodhisattvas to practice the Dharma. All right, finally, 23rd. Who would like? Yes, please.
Furthermore, Subhuti, that mind is everywhere equally, because it is neither high nor low. It is called the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind. The fruit of the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind is realized through the practice of all wholesome actions in the spirit of non-self, non-person, non-living being, and non-lifespan. Subhuti, what are called wholesome actions are in fact not wholesome actions. That is why they are called wholesome actions.
This paragraph is so important. If you say, oh, today I listened to the Dharma talk, I learned something from the Diamond Sutra. I know everything is equal, and then nothing is high, nothing is low. I should not gain anything. Okay. I should not ask for anything. Then I don't have to do anything. I just sit there and thinking on this kind of theory, this kind of teaching. Then Buddha will say, if you are thinking in this way, you will be still the same. If you are miserable, you're still miserable. Nothing will be changed. So there are two stages. Maybe I should say there are 4 stages of arahanthood. The first stage is clearly understand what is right, what is wrong. Establish a right view, the right understanding. After we have right understanding firmly, then we have to find a way to eradicate our wrong attitude, wrong action, wrong habits. If you observe yourself carefully, probably we notice that sometimes it's very clear in our minds. I know this is right, that is wrong. But somehow I cannot change myself right away. Oh, I know, I should not be angry. When people say, Venerable Hangyi, you are great. Oh, I'm so happy. Venerable Hangyi, you are not that good. I still be bothered by these words. Why? I understand I should not be bothered by this. When people praise me, I should be calm. When people criticize me, I should be calm. Why I cannot keep calmness all times? Because understanding is just the first level, first stage of arahanthood. We have to have right understanding, but after established right view, right understanding, we still have a lot of habits built up from childhood or even from previous life. What I like, what I dislike. Actually, we have to find a way to clear this part. Okay. So the second stage of arahanthood, the third stage of arahanthood, is find a way to eradicate your greed and hatred. The first level of arahanthood is the stage, clear your mind, get rid of ignorance. So there are 3 poisons in our life: ignorance, greed, hatred. The first level of arahanthood, eradicate your ignorance. You open your eyes, you see the facts. That is the first stage. But after we reach this stage, it doesn't mean we are a good person right away. My mind understands things correctly, but my body, my action sometimes still not, can be always good. Maybe I wanted to hit people. Even I reached the first stage. When I see people, if I feel I'm not agree with the person, I wanted to hit him. There is a kind of habits inside our subconsciousness. We have to remove those habits, a little by little, a little by little. So, the second stage, the third stage, are the stages removing wrong habits, eradicate greed and hatred, and also establish unlimited loving kindness or great compassion. Finally, we can reach the fourth stage, perfect stage, enlightenment. Arahant. We call this Arahant. Okay. Eventually. Today, I wanted to stop my talk and also open the floor for you all to discuss all chapters that we introduced a while ago. Yes?
I would like to ask you, you mentioned that third level, which is that you see that you have something, but you cannot get rid of that something that is wrong. It's still there. But you didn't say how to get rid of it.
Okay. Thank you. I'm waiting for you to ask. So actually, Sila and Samadhi. Sila and Samadhi. Sila, Samadhi, right understanding. Those are three principles for Buddhists to practice. Jade, Ding, Hui. Okay. The reason for us to have a precepts, observe precepts, is one way. And also build up your concentration. Stabilize yourself is Samadhi. So without these two conditions, it's difficult for us to improve ourselves. So Sila and Samadhi. And plus the right understanding, wisdom. We call these three principles of Buddhist practice. Jie, Ding, Hui. So after we have a right understanding, it doesn't mean we don't practice precepts. We don't observe precepts anymore. We don't practice meditation anymore. We have to continue until we remove all kinds of habits by our practice. Okay, thank you. Yes?
In chapter 21, second paragraph,
Yes.
Subhuti is given a title. Can you explain that? Inside life? Can you explain that title?
Inside life. Inside life, actually in Chinese translation, that is a Hui Mi. Hui Mi means the life of wisdom. The life of wisdom. Okay. But this also another translation of the elders, 长老. So equally with another translation, 长老. 须菩提, 长老. Yeah. So the elder, the most venerable monk who practiced Dharma for many years, we call him 长老. And also another way to address him is inside life or the life of wisdom. Okay.
Because Subhuti is well known for his wisdom.
That's right.
That's why I was thinking
That's right.
that title for him. But you said it's also used to address the senior monk.
Address senior monks and also also describe this senior monk who has great wisdom. Yes. Yes. Any other suggestions? Any comments based on those chapters? Anything that you feel you wanted to share? Is it difficult for us to practice the teaching? Jade?
On the 22nd?
22nd.
paragraph? Okay.
Yes.
So throughout all those teachings, Buddha always, we say that if you think this is Buddha's teaching, this is not. If you think this is something, and it is not. It's in this pattern, right?
Yes.
Okay. So because everything is emptiness, has the characteristic of emptiness. But on the 22nd paragraph, it's not the same. It's conformed. It says, Subhuti asked Buddha, the warner one, is the highest, the most fulfilled, awakened mind. That the Buddha attained the unattainable, and usually, according to the way that the Sutra goes, Buddha will say, no, there's no attainable, fulfilled, awakened mind, right? But here Buddha said, yes, it's right. So it's kind of, it strikes me as different from the whole Sutra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, in Chinese translation, if you read the sutra, it will be easier for you to understand this. Subhuti asked the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, you achieved the highest enlightenment. And in this enlightenment, you attain nothing. It's right. You attain nothing. So you attain the highest level of enlightenment. But at the same time, you attain nothing. Okay, you have to combine these two. You attain something, but actually you don't feel you attain anything. Still the same. Yeah.
So the translation a little bit different.
Yeah, I think the translation is not
The
right.
translation is.
I think it could be wrong. Yeah,
Okay.
the translation could be wrong.
Yes.
I
Yeah. So Buddha said, yes, I attain that highest awakening, but without gaining anything.
Oh, okay. So the translation is not like very.
Actually, I asked Justin to contact Palm Village in northwest area, based on certain translation in English that Venerable Tina Han translate. Sometimes I compare his translation with the Chinese translation. I believe he based on Chinese translation. So I said that in my understanding, I should say in this way, but in his translation, he said in that way. So I asked him, contact the Palm Village.
Oh, okay. So the great minds think alike, right?
We haven't received any response yet. Yes.
No
Okay.
response, maybe we need to fly me to Palm Village.
How about let's do this? Okay. Judy, thank you. Yes.
Please excuse my question, the pronunciation. This sutra, the one that we are reading, looking at, Vivarahachedika Paramita Sutra. For people like me that come here for the first time, where would this sutra come from? Who wrote it? It was Buddha itself or his followers, or belongs to a bigger book? Just to give me a short information on that, please.
Prajna Paramita Sutra. Okay. Prajna Paramita Sutra simply means accomplish the perfect wisdom. Okay, Prajna Paramita, the sutra to accomplish perfect wisdom. This teaching actually collected by many disciples of Buddha. In ancient time, actually, when Buddha taught disciples, it was not allowed to write it in any language. So a lot of disciples should remember in their minds. So after about 300 years, finally they use Pali or Sanskrit to write it down. Because of this process, so sometimes we have different disciples reciting the same sutra in different kind of contents. So we collect all those contents together, and then we form a volume of this big sutra. We call this a great Prajna Paramita Sutra. So Diamond Sutra is from this volume. There are different kind of sections. When we say there are chapters in this sutra, I have to remind you that 21st, 22nd, 23rd is not marked by ancient monks. These numbers marked by a prince in China. So some teachers, they don't use those numbers because the original form of Diamond Sutra is not divided in this way. In this sutra, we say there are 32 chapters, but actually it was not in this form. It's like the whole written in one, one sutra, no numbers in it. Until Nanbei Cao 时代, there was a Buddhist who is a prince. He has a great influence on this sutra. So in China, we divide the sutra in 32 chapters. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Question. The last paragraph that we met describes the happiness resulting from accepting, practicing, and explaining the Diamond Sutra. I wonder if you could say more about what is practicing the sutra. What does that mean?
You said the last?
The 24th, number 24th.
Oh, 24th. Okay.
So accept, practice, and explain the Vajrachatika Prajnaparamita Sutra. I was wondering what it means to practice the sutra.
Okay. Today, let me simply explain the meaning of a practice. When we say practice, sometimes we are thinking that we are doing something, we call this practice. Of course, that is included. And also, practice can be motionless. That means you wanted to have better or deeper concentration first. That is the real practice. The real practice is related with a good concentration, deep concentration. When the person who has deeper concentration, he or she can penetrate on certain teaching into very profound level. In order to accept the teaching naturally, today after I talk to you, I describe or I explain the meaning to you. Most of the time, we force ourselves to think in this way. We force our minds to think in this way. But with deeper concentration, you analyze this, you penetrate into teachings, then you accept naturally, and then you hold those understanding inside you. In Chinese, we call this 圣解. 圣解 means profound understanding. It's not movable. You are okay. When someone say something like this, I have a brother. Okay, I understand my brother. He's a good person. Venerable Han Yi, today your brother is not good. Okay, maybe I have a little doubt, but I still firmly say my brother is a good person. He won't commit this kind of negative things. How about the second person come to me, Venerable, your brother is not a good person. Then I have a little more doubt about my brother. Then the third person comes. Venerable, your brother is not good. If I don't have very profound understanding about my brother, then I will be moved by those words. So the same thing. Sometimes when we say Buddha taught us compassion, loving kindness is the base, the foundation of happiness. Do you believe in this? Do you believe this? Yes, today I believe in this. Tomorrow you go to another place and you are kindly to help others. Suddenly one person criticizes your doing. Then we might have doubts on the practice. So the practice is not profoundly understood, profoundly accepted in our hearts. It can be changed. Anything can be changed. It's not real practice. We have to understand profoundly and steadily hold on this kind of teaching. This is the real practice.